All right, now that you've had a chance to think a little bit more deeply about main ideas, topics, topic sentences, and such, let's take a look at finding supporting details. And this is going to be part of your journal activity for this week in reviewing an article that I provided for you. Let's go ahead and take a scroll through. All right, so finding your main idea and supporting details. Thinking about this in terms of what we do academically, we want to make certain that you realize that your college textbooks, anything that you're going to be dealing with academically, it has so much information. And here's the big secret. There's no way you can learn it all. So you've got to be really strategic about how you interact with your materials and then pick out those things that are going to be most important for you. So finding the main ideas and supporting details is going to help you with any of your college work that you do. And then of course this carries over into how you interact with reading and writing in the everyday world as well. So how do you recognize your main idea? You have to be able to determine the difference between something that is general and something specific that we talked about in the last video. So again, the main idea is going to be kind of that general idea statement or general opinion, and then you're going to have those specific details or reasons that focus on it. Again, location matters. Main idea is generally going to be at the beginning of a paragraph or something close. It could appear in other locations, and it really depends on the type of writing that's being done. But for what we're looking for, we're really looking for it near that beginning. And then if that's the main idea, you will find that it will be then supported by the details that follow. So when you're looking for those details, you have to be able to ask yourself, how does the author explain or develop or prove his or her main idea? So always relating back to that. And this goes back to some of the work that we did in the early chapters of the textbook, in chapter 2 and chapter 3. So keep that in mind that you can always go back to those sections to review as well. So supporting details are going to be found in the sentences that reinforce those main ideas, and it could give you information like facts, examples, reasons, or what they're considering proof that elaborate on that main idea. So always asking yourself, does this relate appropriately? So one thing that we're going to do as we start to think about this idea of annotation is think about our who, what, where, when, why, and how, kind of our reporter questions. And because we're going to be using some current events, it makes this really easy to go ahead and go through. So who's the main focus of the article? What is happening? Where is this all happening? When is it happening? The whys and the hows are where we get a little bit kind of overlap on things. So why is it going on and how is it happening? And so the why might lead to how it's happening, or the how might be why it's happening. So again, you want to play around with that. And there's no perfect answer on this, but if you can answer these particular questions, you can really truly understand deeply what someone is trying to tell you about the topic. And this is all part of that critical thinking piece to it. So good writers, what you're going to be doing and what you're going to be reviewing is that the main idea is going to be directly stated in the paragraph. It could be implied, and we'll get into more of the implied pieces as we go on. And the supporting details, they should always be directly stated for good writing. So again, examples, illustrations, major points, reasons, facts, statistics, all of these things are going to develop that main idea. And if those things are missing, then it's not clear what that writer is trying to prove to you. And you're not going to walk away with as full of a description. So in terms of how many supporting details that you want, one thing you're going to notice in this example here is that you see these transitional pieces, things like first, in addition, finally. So we see three kind of clear reasons or supporting points. 3 is kind of the magic number when we start writing. 1 example, always nice. 2, even better. 3 is somehow we like the idea of 3. It makes us feel comfortable. We just happen to work. There are lots of examples of 3s just in the world. And so if you can give me 3 good reasons, you're likely going to be on track with supporting your point and or understanding what someone else is saying. When you start to go beyond this, you start to lose some of the power of it, and then it just becomes this long, long list. So it's not about listing everything. It's about let's find the top ones for that. And of course, this all depends on the length of a piece. So again, we have, for this example, we see the transition words of 1 reason or also, so we know we have at least 2 issues that support our topic sentence. These days, most Americans get less than 7 hours of sleep at night for reasons that are related to their busy lifestyles. So I would expect that I would see issues related to those busy lifestyles. So again, it's about being really clear and deliberate with the language that you're using and picking out some of those pieces. And the more we do this, the easier, of course, it's going to become. So some things to remember as we move forward. Your topic, main idea, and details are not all the same thing. The topic is your subject. So it could be a singular sort of word like October. The main idea is going to be general. The idea that it's going to be October is your favorite month of the year. Now those details that you give, why is this happening? Those are your supporting details. So you're building into it. And you might find out when you're doing your pre-writing and some of your brainstorming or clustering, you might have things that are bulleted or numbered, or maybe you put things in bubbles. And then you can introduce each of these points with these transitional pieces like in addition or also. And you want to give clues about the types of details that you're going to get into. And we're going to take a look at this week within the journal. So we'll talk more about this in class, but I hope you find this helpful as you get started on your journal for this week. Have a good one.